Hello, everyone, and welcome down to episode 191 of the Down South Photo Show with me, Brendan Waits, here in Ocean Grove, Victoria, Australia, and the guy on your other screen or in your other ear if you're listening to the podcast. It's Cam Blake in Hobart, Tasmania, Australia. Hello, Cameron. How are you?
How rusty are you?
A little rusty.
You're all over the shop. I'm good. How you going? Nice to see you.
Good. Really good. Really well.
Yeah. Hey, very, very first shout out to Mr. Danaher, who passed away during the week or last week with the freeze beanie of the what is it? MMD?
MND, yes.
MND. It's pretty sad. In being a Melbourne supporter, that would have rocked you a bit hard, but
he was a coach of my club through the late 90s, early 2000s, and we rode the roller coaster, made a grand final appearance, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, he was legend, absolute bloody legend. It was what he did after he left the coaching arena. Of course, it made him so famous and very well regarded and respected. It's going to be a big day, King's birthday on Monday. We'll go out Friday, so on Monday we'll be heading to the MCG with our big freeze beanies with 100,000 other people, paying our respects. Awesome! What a bloody legend.
Yeah, it's some people are just born to be legendary, aren't they? I think he was just born to do everything he did, and sadly gone. But so hopefully if you haven't supported MMD, make sure, I don't know, we can probably put a link in below or something like that. Go donate some money, and get it out there. So
you can buy a digital beanie. So we'll put the links below. If you haven't already bought a beanie from Coles and Bunnings, not sponsored, there'll be a link below for a digital beanie. Real quick story. Actually, very, very fortunate to meet him up in Brisbane after a Brisbane v Melbourne game at the Gabba. I had a very, very short conversation with him, which was amazing, and got him to sign my Melbourne jumper, which was the one that our friend Bevo wore to the grand final in 2021. So there you go. R.I.P. Neil Danaher.
Yeah, I actually think I might have met him. I met one of the Danahers. I think it might have been him back when I was doing Auskick, like when I was a little tacker. I'm pretty sure he came out to one of those gigs and had a bit of a training session with the kids. I remember being one of the Danahers, but amazing family, and will be sadly missed. But
pretty amazing that all four Danahers once played in a match for Essendon. All four brothers. That's remarkable.
Yeah, let's not talk about Essendon because we're not a football show.
No, we're not a football show. Cam, this week we're going to be talking about all sorts of things. We've got a rundown for the ages. This could be a bumper. Episode, so stay tuned, everybody.
And I reckon it's going to get a little bit entertaining. I think there's going to be a bit of teeing off here and there and a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
We're going to be talking about Cam's recent trip to Flinders Island. We're going to talk about my recent trip down the Great Ocean Road. We're going to be talking about Cam is an author.
Well,
technically
I've been an author, but I've been an author for a few years, mate.
No, but you're like doing ebooks and stuff. It's like
I'm doing ebooks. There's a story behind ebooks, which I'll tell as we go along. But
we're going to talk about a lot of different things, not least of which will be the fact that Ansel Adams was ripped off as well. In a photo comp, which raised a few eyebrows across the industry during the week. So stay tuned for all that fun stuff. But as we do each week, let's start with a photo of the week. And Cam, I'm going to start with yours, if that's okay with you.
You can do that, absolutely. So this is a snow gum, in case you're not sure what that is. I went out the other day. Like I said just before we came on air, I've had a little bit of time off, which is nice. It's unusual to be home for a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. So I looked at some of the weather, and I thought I wouldn't mind maybe getting up to these snow gums in Mount Field, which are about an hour and a half from Hobart up the top there. And we had this weather just the other day where it was in between sort of systems where it was foggy but still relatively mild. I'm like, I'll go up there and I'll have a look around. And it was perfect conditions. I was talking to you as I was walking along as well. It was just foggy, no wind, no rain. Everything was wet from the night before. So all the trunks of these trees were just saturated. And it was really good. Like I went up there, and it's a bit of a hike to get up. It's about a half-hour walk pretty much uphill to get up to the top where these all are. And I had the place to myself. There was one guy who passed me on the way. I met him in the car park, but then he didn't rock up for another hour and a half. He got stuck talking to a ranger, apparently. So I had this whole section of about 2 kilometers of these snow gums all to myself. And you don't get that very often. It's a really lovely feeling where you just sit there. And I just sat down, had a banana, and sat on a rock, and I was just like, there's no one else here. This is ridiculous. So I took plenty of photos. This is the most impressive one I found. And I actually saw this one on the way in. I thought, I just can't get to that. It's got too many rocks, and in between all the rocks are all these little plants that have these ankle breaker holes. And I thought maybe I can't get there. And on the way back, I just found a little pad. I could see someone else had been up there, or an animal. So I just jumped on the track and sort of tiptoed my way through and got there. But there is something about this photo that I did that I've never really done before, is I've actually flipped it. I've flipped it landscape. I flipped it horizontally because my brain, with the tree coming out from the right-hand side of the frame, my brain just wasn't registering that as right. And I flipped it. I thought, well, we read left to right. We sort of look at everything left to right. Maybe that's where my brain is. So I don't know if that's cheating or what. I don't know what that would be classed as, but it seemed to work better if I went that way instead of that way.
There's no, as we all now know, there is no cheating in photography. It's open to your interpretation. And if that's what worked for you, that's what worked for you. Can I have a question without notice, please?
Of course.
Polarizer?
Yes, polarizer on this one. Yep.
So I would imagine because it was so sheeny and glossy, the polarizer helped you cut that back. I love that it left some sheen though.
Yeah. See, the polarizer was struggling a lot because it was so wet. So really where it helped was all, if you look at this, like this scene, all the top end of all the branches that are facing up to the sky have got a little bit of sheen on them. It controlled that a little bit, but it didn't do too much with the patterns and the trunk of itself, but it did help with the rocks, making the rocks a bit darker, and the grass or the bushes there a bit darker as well. But yeah, I always use a polarizer as much as I can. And I did expect it to have more of an effect on it, but it didn't really. But I actually think the sheen sort of helps. Maybe it gives it a bit more wetness, sort of shows that they're quite wet.
I think it definitely helps. I think it's a great effect that, I mean, I'm imagining without a polarizer, it is more of the sheen. So it loses those amazing patterns and textures in that snow gum. Like that's you must have had a ball with that. And I'm assuming there was a few more of them around.
Yeah, like there was loads. Like I said, there's a whole section of them up there. And I've been there before a few times, but I haven't been there in the right conditions. I'm going to go back up again after the next big snowfall. If I just happen to be around, I'll pop up and have a look. But there's a whole heap of other things up there, and I'll add a few more photos in as we're talking. But there's so many cool sections up there you can get to, and it's all in this one little bit where it's all collected together. I don't know what the deal is, why they're all in that same area, but they all seem to be sort of stuck on that side of Mount Field. But it is known that Mount Field does have some of the best snow gums. Well, not necessarily in Tasmania, but maybe also Australia. But I've put up a couple more shots there. There's one that I did of a close-up of the bark on one of the trees, and I reckon I might even get that printed. It looked amazing. So, yeah, I had a ball. Yeah, that one. It's just the color. Like, that's so realistic, that color, to what I saw. Like, it's just this bright sort of greeny yellow bark. That's the trunk of the tree, and all the bark sort of shaves off. But, yeah, if you go, there's another photo there. It's got some pandanus in there. There's a couple of pandanus that grow up there. So they sort of tuck in amongst all the snow gums, which is great. And then the other one is they're just really gnarly sort of trunks, and they always they sort of grow everywhere. So yeah, I had a ball. You can see the conditions was just so foggy and no wind, no wind at all. It was still as still could be. And I had to pull myself away. I said to Lisa, I said, I'll be home sort of lunchtime, early afternoon. And I could have stayed there all day, but I thought, no, I'll get moving. I'll get down. I think I've got some keepers, and off I went. So,
but also logged it for future. And as you say, going back, I mean, you're quite right. How cool would it look with a bit of snow sitting on some of those boughs there? That'll look pretty. Yeah, neat.
I think what'll help as well is the whole landscape being covered in snow. Yeah. So that's sort of alpine, sort of foggy. But if it's alpine snow and nice light, that'll be my next thought. So if I get a big snow dump, I'll try and get up there. Maybe not so much early in the morning, but maybe get the afternoon light coming in. They sort of face northwest as well, so you'll get that sort of sun glow in the afternoon as well. So that'll be the plan. But yeah, it was good. It was good fun, and it was really nice to get out there and just take some photos.
these pandanus are really cool because they catch the snow in the middle of them, and that really helps as well. But that's a great shot. But you're quite right. You could see it like with a lot of those rocks with snow on them instead would certainly be awesome. So that's cool. It's cool that you can do that, Cam, that have places like that. How far? Like an hour from your house?
Yeah, so it's about an hour and a half. Like Mount Field is about an hour, but then there's another 30-minute drive up to the top. And it's good. Like when it's not peak season down here, like you will guarantee almost have this place to yourself almost most days of the week. So weekends are a bit different, but during the week, like I saw 3 people the whole time I was up there. Yeah. And 2 of them were an older couple hiking out, and the other one was the guy I met from Sydney. Shout out to Dan if he's watching. I did give a plug. So it's great. The fact that you can have this right on your backyard, it's stunning countryside. It sort of reminds me of why I keep loving Tassie.
Yeah, well, I've always said to you that's the ace up your sleeve is the fact that you live there and run your tours in a lot of your tours in Tasmania. Yeah, to have that in your own backyard, and it makes people think. Certainly makes me think about getting out to places that I've got on my doorstep, like the Great Ocean Road, but also we have a little mountain range just to the north of us called the Yuyangs, which I went up to, it was a while ago now. We had a little family barbecue up there with a few, the kids' cousins and extended family and stuff. We went on a Sunday, foolishly, and I think half of Melbourne decided to do the same thing as well because it was ridiculous. But same deal. I can see during the week that the Yuyangs has got a lot of granite, so it'd be interesting to granite and you get a lot of gum trees, koalas, all that sort of stuff in there. So I have to. It's good. It's a good reminder to go and check out your own backyard, folks, because I'm sure people watching and listening could probably get in the car and drive 90 minutes away like Cam and be an awesome location to shoot. So don't forget about your own backyard.
Well, this is the thing as well. Like you get a lot of people say, oh, wow, that's so cool. Cam, where'd you get that from? Like, oh, it's about an hour drive. Oh, really, an hour? Like if you want to get nice photos, you've got to move. You can't just sit within 10 Ks of your house or wait to go on a holiday somewhere. Like there's, like you said, every backyard will have something. It'll have something an hour away, even 2 hours away. Make a whole day trip of it. Put our podcast on as you're driving along.
Of course.
Get some to eat on the way. Have it. That's what I mean. I made pretty much I left at 7:00. I was home by 2:00. Yeah. And it was good. I actually felt good for it. I had a bit of a walk, got the heart rate up a bit, all that kind of stuff. So yeah,
good for the mental health too. Yeah, and it's funny because there'll be people listening to this in the UK and in Europe will be like, 2 hours away. I'll be in another country by then.
2 hours. I could go from Scotland to London. Well, no, you won't, but you can go Scotland to the UK. But yeah, that's the thing. Like we do live in a big country, but all our towns are all based around. If you think about when they settled towns as well, they all based them on rivers or in valleys or things like that. You're going to find something that works. So I've said it since day dot. The best way to improve your photography is just don't be lazy. Just get out there and have a look. So,
speaking of, this is my photo of the week. They're a bit sluggish coming up. Ooh. This is now you've been here, Cam. This is the redwoods.
Yes, I know that's cool.
And we were quite fortunate this time around because there was the creek was quite low. So if you walk through the redwoods, there's a little valley, and then on the left the creek flows. But this time I could actually step out into the creek. Like some of the water there was only like an inch deep going over the rock, so I could actually walk on the rocks.
Bet you it's not now.
I know we've had a bit of rain. So, I'd be surprised if much of this debris in the river's even still there. But we've had a fair amount. But it was really cool. We had this was my tour of 2 weeks ago. I only had 4 people, so it was lovely. We all spread right throughout the redwoods and just wandered for 3 hours basically through the redwoods. And I've always wanted to get this shot, but haven't been able to get the access. But this time with the creek being so low, I managed to get it. And it was grouse. And there was, you pull up in the car park at the redwoods and similar story. There's one other car there. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like we've got this entire, fun land to ourselves. So
how exciting is it when you get there and there's no other person there? You're just like, this is awesome. It's like, you don't get that very often. But question for you, is that polarized as well?
Yeah, that's polarized and also ND because we were there So you know how it is with the redwoods. It's one of those rare spots where you actually kind of want to be there when the light's bad elsewhere, because then you get the beams and the light rays coming through. We did get a little bit of that, but nowhere near as much as we got a couple of years ago. But it sort of meant the light was actually softer. We had a bit of grayness and the cloud was the sun was bursting through every now and then, but it made this shot work because in the distance it kind of looks like mist and fog. Where in reality it's just grayness. It's a grayish day at that point. So, polarizer ND filter. From memory, this is about a 4-second exposure. And just tripod mounted 100 ISO. This was on the Nikon Z5 II, and I finally got that Tamron 16-30. Tamron 16-30 f2.8 back in my possession. So, nice. I love that lens. I think it's better than the Nikon. I tried the Nikon version of it at BFOP, and I don't know, weight wise, it was too heavy. It felt a bit clunkier, and this thing. Because I took the 16-30 to our Kangaroo Island scouting and just fell in love with it. I just thought this is a beautiful lens. So really happy with it.
16 is a great focal length, I reckon, for those ultra wide things down low. Because that shot there really puts you in that forest. I love the ferns off to the left; they're really cool. But just the light on the log, looks beautiful.
Yeah, and I was happy with the subtle bit of blur on the ferns on the left. It didn't worry me. I mean, there was bugger all breeze, but it was there.
Yeah.
And I've done photos like this before, and I've had people say, well, you can do another exposure and you can make the movement go away. I don't know. I'm not one for that as much. Maybe once upon a time I was, but I don't think it's lazy. I just think that was what was there. That was what was going on, and I appreciate why people would do another exposure. You can see some of the ferns deeper into the forest are quite blurred, but I don't care. It doesn't to me, it doesn't detract at all from the image.
No, and like you said, that's what it was when it was there, and I'm a bit the same. Like I don't like to blend images because it's just like that's what it was. So that's how I saw it. That's those things were moving. It tells you about the atmosphere of where you are as well. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, we on our way up there, we went past a spot.
That's cool.
Do you remember? It's called Turton's Track. You head up into the Otways and you turn left along that little track that it's just covered in this stuff. And gee, it reminds me of Tassie. Like it's such a Tasmanian pocket of the national park, the Great Otway National Park. And
that's the thing. We discussed that on that trip, didn't we? Where like the Tarkine and northwest coast of Tassie almost fits perfectly into that region. So that's it is very similar. That's the first thing I noticed as well. So
kind of me. And then we've got. I'm just going to run through quickly a few of the shots from that trip. I mean, this is Beauchamp Falls, which is what a cracker. I mean that waterfall. I'm guessing it's probably 12 to 15 meters tall, I guess, and it never ceases to amaze. Like it's always looks like that.
That waterfall. That waterfall has a really lovely flow rate always.
It seems
I don't know what that means or whatever, but it always seems like it's always got a really lovely gentle fall to it. So
no, I've really sort of gone wrong there. And of course we had a lot of the time, we stayed at Apollo Bay and we had the beach straight across from us. So one morning we went across and just shot a really, we tried to go minimal. I made a bit of a theme to minimize everything, and actually did one of my famous photo comps. Cam, everyone loves on our tours.
Yes, that's what people do.
And we were looking for patterns, and I was going for the grains of sand here. And then of course there's this little feather just sitting there, and so that was cool to be able to do that as well. Considering that the sunrise wasn't that spectacular, it was okay, but it wasn't going off. And then to teach people about just picking the eyes out of a scene. And it's a classic example, and this happens a lot, I find, particularly on tours, yours and mine, where we'll get to a location, you can tell some people are like, really? We're shooting this? Like, what are we looking at here? Yeah. And then one of those was the Perrin Dunes. Do you remember that? We got there, and I could tell that there was a couple of people in the group that were a bit flat about it. They're like, I don't see this. But within 15 to 20 minutes of just staying there and just hanging in there in that environment, all of a sudden the shots started to come and the flow starts to come. And then you go, oh, okay, now I see what we're shooting here.
And then we got that cracking. We got a cracking sunset to go with it.
Well, that kind of helped as well, didn't it? But that did kind of help. And then and then the famous Some Apostles. But this time facing east with the sun setting behind, which of course makes rainbows.
And nice big wave smash into the bottom of that apostle, and beautiful light along the coast there. That's lovely. It
was so funny because that's actually my shadow. You can see on the shadow line there. See in the on the And I actually Mel was with us, and I actually sprinted for this photo because I was up the other end of the platform.
Yeah,
and the rainbow came, and I went, now if I bolt down the other end, I'll get the rainbow behind those stacks a bit more. So I literally bolted down.
Yeah,
and then I got the shot. Then here comes Mel trotting after me. He goes, I knew you ran down there for a reason. And then he got a similar setup. So it was cool. It was such good light. We had really fast moving rain shadows rain showers coming across, and the whole time I'm there, I'm like, guys, watch your back. Watch. We're going to get a rainbow. It's going to happen. And we got it. Which is really cool.
And again, it just goes to show, like, don't be a lazy photographer. Don't look outside and go, there's a few rain showers around, I'll stay in. Get the hell out there, because that's when Mother Nature looks its best, when it's moody, bit of moisture in the air, bit of atmosphere, bit of waves, bit of rainbow, bit of awesome light. So, that's a cracker.
Rain makes rainbows. So it was cool. And can I put up one of the people who's on the trip? Can I put one of their shots up?
Yeah, you can, of course. Who's this going to be? It's not Mel's, is it?
No, this is and of course I'll give it the credit. This is Jane McRae, who was on my trip. Jane's an Ocean Grove girl, and she signed up to come with me down the Great Ocean Road. I've known Jane for ages. In fact, she was one of my earlier customers when I opened the shop, and she's into a lot of does a lot of interior design, works with a lot of architects and that sort of stuff. But she's got the eye for it. I mean, this shot here, this is at the bottom of Hopeton Falls. She had like a big zoom range, like a 28 to 400 lens. And just went straight in on this and picked. And when she took this shot, I saw it come up on the back of a screen, and I stopped her and I went, "That is a cracker. That is absolutely awesome," because people will generally at a waterfall go for the big wide, which I get, but she's just found this little window through the ferns and then isolated a great little subject, nailed the exposure, nailed the composition, and again left the movement in, which I quite like of the ferns as well as the water falling. And I was really pumped for her to get this photo. She was stoked for it as well. So it was cool. It was really cool to be able to see people learning to see as we went through. You know what it's like. Can you see it? You see them, they progress in front of your eyes, and Jane certainly did that. So shout out to Jane, awesome job.
Yeah. Hey, I fixed your first photo too. If you want to, I added it in there on the list of stuff. I fixed it up for you. There was one thing that I wanted to fix for you.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, thank you, mate.
Yeah, awesome. That's much better.
Yeah, there are apparently platypus in there.
Yeah, look at that. That's a 2-second AI job. Get stuff right.
That platypus would be 2 meters wide.
It's an old Jurassic platypus. You don't muck around with those ones. They'll eat you.
Yeah, that's good. I might enter that into a competition and win an award. Speaking of, how's that for a segue?
Yeah, pretty good.
Should we have it? Now I haven't got the photo, and I'm not going to give it. I don't think we're going to show it because I don't think it deserves the any more oxygen. But I think, Cam, you're across the story a little bit more than I am. But correct me if I'm wrong. Someone took one of Ansel Adams's photos, and basically colorized it using AI. Is that right?
Pretty much. And so it was a classic moonrise over cemetery shot, I think it's called, that Ansel Adams took back in his day. And it wasn't a competition that was entered. It was actually a studio selling it as their own work.
Right.
So somehow some idiot, clearly an idiot, thought, hey, that'd be a good idea if we, if we just sell it and try and make money off it. So they got obviously called out for it, but I don't think they've taken it down. I think it's still a thing. Like they're just saying, well, bad luck. It's our work. We've done it. So,
what do you mean it's our work?
Well, yeah, I know it's stupid, isn't it? So
how can you?
Well,
I don't know. Have you no shame? Like that's ridiculous.
Well, that's the question. It's like, well, have they created it themselves using AI? Like, what's the deal there? So, so that's a dealer called James DeZinga, who's an art dealer. So he's used an unauthorized picture of Ansel Adams, colorized it using AI, and then passed it off as his own, or not passed it off his own, but selling it as, well, yeah, I'll sell this because someone might buy it. It's gone pretty big because the galleries obviously come out and said, well, we don't, the Ansel Adams gallery come out and said, we don't agree to that at all, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't think they've taken it down. I think they're just saying, well, stiff shit, we're going to keep it. And if you don't like it, bad luck, but they're going to get their ass.
So are they saying this is art, we can do whatever we want?
Yeah.
Are they just putting it under the blanket banner of art as their excuse for blatantly ripping off Ansel Adams and his estate?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's so
that's how they're doing it. So I don't know how they get away with that. So I think they're saying, well, because it's AI generated, then it's all okay. Too bad. But this person, as far as I know, when I read the story, I don't think they've taken it down. But maybe it's a bit like the Peter Lick thing, where he sold the world's most expensive photo that was actually his, that he bought himself allegedly. Maybe it's a bit like that, where they're trying to, maybe they're just thinking, oh, if I do this, I'll get plenty of publicity, and
any publicity is good publicity, right? But I'm sorry, you're a jerk, mate. That's bullshit. You just take it down. You're an embarrassment to the art world and to the photography world. It's just not right.
I think the word we would use is you're a flog.
Yeah.
So I've just put up a little thing here. This is the original moonrise over the town, and so that's not a great quality one, but that's the original one.
I get it.
And this is the colorized one. We're not promoting this obviously because they're a dickhead, but this is what they've done.
Right.
They've just changed it from that to that.
It's that, which is Ansel Adams, and then it's that, which is and excuse the low res, but I'm glad it's low res. I don't want to give
it doesn't need any pixels, that piece of shit. So they should
it's that old thing, Cam. It's just because we can, it doesn't mean we should, and that's what that is. So get in the bin.
Yeah, and it's I'm just reading through the article now. I don't think I can see anything where they've they haven't, this gallery hasn't responded to anything, I don't think.
Yeah.
But tell you what, they must have balls the size of basketballs. No. To go out there and just say, you know what, we're just going to rip off one of the most famous photographers of all time.
Yeah.
And bad luck if you don't like it, because we're gonna do this. And
no, that doesn't. Sorry, mate. To me, that doesn't take courage at all. That just takes a lack of shame. So,
hang on. There is a statement now. Hang on, what do you got?
Oh, here we go.
We're working on
late breaking news.
Late breaking news. They have released a press gallery, and so they, you know what they are. I think the word we would use is they're a cockhead. Yeah. So the press release. No, it says they would like to release a statement. The second line of the statement says, "As the image is in the public domain, I have every right to create a new and transformative work. My interest in doing this was based on my love of the iconic image, my interest in seeing how AI could be used as a tool for creativity and to create imagery of what Ansel Adams saw in real life as he was driving along the US Highway 84 that made him stop." So
he doubled down.
He's doubled down. And then he's coming. Anyone who's familiar with my 50-year career in photography. So he's an old bloke who's going, let's try out new technology, and it's backfired. What a dickhead.
Yes.
What'd they say? Yeah, and he's a dickhead. He's even quoted Ansel Adams about what he said about the original shot as if to say that justifies what he's doing because he's changed it into color. Well, I would suggest he's a flog. So
that is just not right.
And he's from New York City, so
yeah. I mean, to say that he it's inspired by what Ansel Adams would be turning over in his grave if he could see that shit, and that is just disrespectful. So,
but would he though? Playing devil's advocate, like it's the same here. We've got Peter Dombrovskis. We've got Peter Dombrovskis who, regarded as one of the best photographers, landscape photographers, not in Australia, but around the world. And people rip off his stuff all the time. I've got a picture behind me that I've gone and taken similar of his stuff.
This guy didn't go and drive out there and find the graveyard and the moon and wait for the moon set and take a color photo. He typed the prompt into Chat GPT, mate. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Sorry. Well, that's true. But, would Ansel Adams look at that and go, oh, look, I'm all for new technology? Maybe.
I don't think he would. I actually don't think Ansel would have enjoyed digital photography at all purely because his trade was slaving in the darkroom to create these images. And the story's fantastic. How come there's not been a movie made about that guy?
About Ansel? There's probably been a biopic or something like that. But
yeah, I'd like to see that. That'd be cool.
But this guy, James Danziger, whatever his name is, he's an art dealer. So I reckon this is a massive publicity stunt.
That's all it is.
Some idiot's going to go, well, I'm going to go buy that because that's going to be worth a fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope it falls off your wall and cracks you on the head.
I agree. Cam,
right, move on for that shit.
You've released an ebook.
I've actually released 2 ebooks now.
You've released 2 ebooks now. That'll be linked below if you want to go and check them out.
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. What a cool idea. And what brought this on?
Well, good friend of the show, Adam Edwards, who's actually been on this show before. Shout out to Adam. Him and I were talking.
Put a card up there for his interview. Look, the card just appeared up there.
No, there's no card. I've never seen a card on any of our episodes.
Cards always appear. Come on, mate.
I don't think so. I was talking to him the other day, and he rang up about another good conversation that we might have on this show. Feels like a trip sometimes. And I was just looking. He was talking about his Mungo National Park workshop, which is amazing. Anyone should go and do that. He does Astro ones, and I think he's in the national park now as we speak. But I looked on his website. I'm like, oh, he's got an ebook. I'm like, geez, I had an ebook somewhere I was working on. And I found it in the background, and I'm like, oh, I really should get onto these. So I decided just to put some together. But here's the fun bit about it, talking about AI. So what I did is I went and each section, the first one's just on composition, light, time of day, the sort of main things I teach. I went into Chat GPT and I went, write 3 or 4 paragraphs about this. And I just did like a whole heap of dot points of the important things I teach. And I just thought, let's see what it spits out. So what I did that and it spat out, obviously, paragraphs of what it does. And I've just gone through and proofread that and changed a few things around, stuck it around a bit more, changed a few sentences and added it in there. So it's all my thoughts, but it's actually been Chat GBT'd a little bit to help me put it all so it sounds and flows nicely. And I actually had a lot of fun doing it. I actually found it really almost like teaching myself again that the stuff I know or verbalizing what I know, writing it down in dot point form and then putting it into a nice sort of ebook. So I've got some ebooks available. I'm going to do one every month for the next few months. And so far, the first one's been downloaded close to 300 times. The second one's almost pushing 200 times. It's got lots of diagrams and pictures and me pointing out what I look for and how I shoot stuff. So it's not all words. It's a lot of visual as well. But yeah, I just found it a really nice process to be able to throw my thoughts out there, but have it written that's a little bit more free-flowing. I don't know, maybe I'm not the best writer or not. I don't mind writing stuff, but if people are going to read it, you want them to sort of, make it look professional and all that kind of stuff. So it was good that it tidied up.
Like you said, this is a little different. This is where you've actually, I need to say this, now say it in a way that people can read it fluently. Yes. Thanks. I'd be the same, mate. I'm no writer. That's fine. That's still your ideas, but you want people to be able to get something out of it. You don't want just a heap of gobbledygook there that they can't understand. So I get that. That's really cool. And so, so you reckon maybe 5 or 6 you'll put out, or? Yeah,
I reckon I'll go for half a dozen for the rest of the year. They're all available on my website, tasphoto.com.au. There's an ebook section. The first one was just an overall, let's talk about compositions, light, time of day, the sort of 4 or 5 things I teach. And then after I wrote that one, I'm like, that's good. But I almost found myself saying, all right, Cam, you need to get a bit more in depth about, let's talk about composition. So the next one was about composition and how it's somewhat important to a photo. Maybe not the most important thing, but it's pretty close. So that went through and just gave some really good indications. And I've done some graphics on my images to say, look, these are the leading lines I'm looking for. And this is the thing that attracted me to this and how I framed it up and things like that. So they're fairly comprehensive, I think. And people seem, I'm getting a lot of good feedback on them. So, yeah, I just thought, you know what, let's give back. They're all free. You don't have to pay for them. They're all free. You check out on the website and then it sends you an email link and away you go, like most ebooks. But, yeah, no, it's sort of inspired by Adam and, yeah.
Adam's a good man.
Yes.
We'll circle back to Adam shortly.
Cool.
I got a question from, this is, when we used to do Ask Cam and...
excuse me while I open the can. Hang on, ready?
That's
the best sound ever.
It is a good sound. That is a good sound. That is
a good sound, isn't it?
So we were on the Great Ocean Road trip, and Jane, who took that photo before, was doing an amazing job with her camera and getting some great photos. And then she said, "Can you ask this on the podcast?" And I said, "Okay, I'll save the answer for on the podcast. I won't, Cam and I will talk about it." And she said, "At what point can someone call themselves a photographer?" And it got me thinking. I was like, well, I mean, and I said, do you mean a professional photographer? He said, no, just a photographer. Like it does not necessarily professional, just a photographer.
Yeah.
And I mean, my first thought went to when you start taking photos, like I guess that you're a photographer. And then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, she's probably asking, at what point do you start giving yourself the tag of a photographer? Like you're saying, no, what do you do? I'm a photographer in my spare time, that sort of, that sort of thing. Because I mean, I would call Jane a photographer straight away. She's one of these people, Cam, that just has the eye, it. Can brush up a little bit more on technical stuff, and can't we all? Probably needs one of your ebooks, which you'll download. I have no doubt.
Maybe.
But seeing a person translate what they see with their eye through the technology, through the tips and tricks, composition, lighting, exposure, all that, getting all that right, and then it delivering.
Yeah.
That and you see the penny drop moment, which we talk about a lot as well. That's awesome. That's a cool thing because you can see the vibe. Like they're pumped. Yeah. They're like, yes, I've got this. I understand now what he meant by that. That's great.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, there's just photos after photos. They just flow. It's like and that. Well, now is she a photographer? And I think a lot of people are almost scared or embarrassed to say that they're a photographer because everyone is their own worst critic, right? So so it's an interesting question. So what do you think? At what point can someone call themselves a photographer?
Whenever they bloody want to.
Yep.
I don't know. Like. It is a funny one. Like people, good sound. It is a funny one where people are a bit like, oh, well, I'm not really a photographer. I just like taking photos. You're a photographer. If you want to call yourself a professional photographer, then that's obviously, when do we call ourselves a golfer?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm
not a professional golfer.
Yeah, that's right. We're a golfer. So I bought a set of clubs. I reckon when you're a photographer, when you do this, you do the. I reckon that's when you press that first button, you're a photographer.
Yep.
So I don't think you need to wait. I think if you've got a passion for it and you see things, even if you're not taking photos, I still think you could be a photographer if you've got the eye for it and you see things and you drive along like, oh, that looks really nice there. That'd be a nice photo. So I think whenever you bloody well want to call yourself a photographer, go for it because it's all about your own work and what you enjoy doing. And, you like the process of either seeing the photo, taking the photo, editing the photo, or just watching the world go by. Everyone's got an eye for something. And so, I'd say whenever you want to, really.
Well, there you go, Jane. You heard it here first. You can now go over to your bio on Instagram and add the word photographer.
Yeah. And then you could start selling prints and just doing workshops then.
I feel, that's right. Exactly. It's too easy, mate. It's just a walk in the park. I feel like that's, when they say you're a wizard, Harry, you're a photographer, Jane.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, and I get what people are saying. Like, everyone's their own worst critic, and I think one of the things that I may have done right from the get-go, and I think this is, time will tell, history will tell, but I think from the get-go, I think I learned early on in my life that I didn't really worry about what too many people thought about what I did or who I was and stuff. High school, everyone's sort of trying to be the cool kid and stuff like that. I was not involved with that. I couldn't have cared less. If you're a nice person, I liked you. If you're friendly, I'd be friends with you. If you're nasty, I wouldn't talk to you. But it was the same with anything I did as well. Like when I did photography back in the day, people are like, oh, that's a bit geeky. Well, you take photos. That's a bit boring or whatever. But on the same hand, I played cricket and I played all the boy sports and stuff like that. So I never really worried about it. So, but I still have issues now when people go, oh, you're a great artist. I don't see myself as an artist. I see myself as someone who just likes taking photos. I like pretty things and I like clicking the camera at them. So everyone.
I think that's where you and I differ. I do see myself as an artist and I always have with photography. I think photography is an art form.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I love it. And I take it up to anyone who debates it and poo-poos it just because I can't do a brushstroke, and or a watercolor or a charcoal sketch or anything like that. I probably can. I've never really tried, to be honest. I could probably do something.
Wasn't your mum good at art?
My mum was a very talented artist. She was amazing. And she was a closet artist, She produced some amazing stuff and would throw it out. She's incredible pencil drawings, amazing sketches, colored pencil. She did it all and chucked in the bin. But I think photography is an art, and I think you're an artist. I do. I know you might not call yourself that, but you are. And just look at the stuff you just showed before, this, the snow gums and things like that. Like, there's an art form in there. There's not anyone can take those photos, Cam. That's the thing. And that's what makes you an artist, I think. Like, your interpretation is for the most part amazing. Like it's fantastic when of any scene, and generally the better photographers and therefore the better artists can generally interpret it in a way that is unique and B, visually appealing. Visual arts is, and it's visual. It's called visual art for a reason. Like it's visual arts. Photography falls under visual arts. So I don't know. I'm babbling a bit, but I do think that it's definitely an art form for sure.
Look, I don't dispute that photography is an art. I don't dispute that at all. But I don't class myself as an artist. And that's I know that sounds stupid, but for me, calling me an artist, I always think, if someone draws those pictures or paints those paintings, or they play a guitar or something like that, they're the ones that have they've got the whole package of visual, they can tactile do things and they can have the coordinations to do all those kind of things. That's where I find that art is on a different level to what I do. And that may be a bit arrogant. People might think, oh, you're just a bit arrogant for saying that, or whatever. But I really don't. I don't look at what I do as, I look at my photos and it's always been for me, my photos. Like I look at that snow gum shot, and the other reason I'm sharing that snow gum shot is because I really like it. I'm not sharing it because I want to impress other people. I'm just sharing it because I really like that.
But Nora, to me, I would argue counter that by saying nor did artists. They didn't share stuff because they wanted the recognition. They shared stuff because they loved their interpretation of, like, they loved what they created. That's different. That is completely different, in my opinion. And I don't think there's any. And I think the great thing about photography is that the level of instant gratification you get. We can create. We can create an image in seconds. With the technical know-how we've got, whereas someone who does an oil painting that might take them 2 years to complete, they've got the technical mastery, but they've also got the patience. I don't possess patience. I just don't. It is not in me, and
I hadn't noticed.
Hand in the air. That's not me, and I think that's where there's an artist inside me screaming to get out, and photography marriages up beautifully with that. For that, as I say, for that, digital photography was just a godsend for me. Because I didn't have to wait anymore to see the results. Instant feedback, instant gratification, instant creativity coming out of the screen right back at me. that I made because I put myself there. I got myself there at the right time. I knew what the light was going to do. I knew how to capture it, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And same as you, mate. I'm an okay photographer. I think, I create probably half a dozen really good images a year, which is a strike rate I'm absolutely thrilled with. But by and large, my photos are nice, but that's not what it's about. I'm doing it for myself, like you say.
Yeah.
And we all like clicks and we all like likes and we all like comments and all that sort of stuff. It strokes our egos. But at the end of the day, you've got to be the one who likes it. And I think that's what it's all about.
See, I think as well, like I the images I put out there, I like. But then again, I don't think I like it because of what I've done. I think I like them because of what Mother Nature's done.
I think you are more in tune with showing the environment, which is great. And I think which is great. But the happy byproduct of that is a great photo.
Well, you get some nice photos out of it. But to me, like the snow gum shot, for example, that was not me going up there saying I want to create a really bit of art piece and do it all nice and have it all framed up perfectly and all whatever else.
Yeah,
I went up there to go. I just want to see some really cool trees in really good situations, and just capture that beauty.
Yeah.
So I can be happy that I saw it and have a record that I saw it, and then when I see it, I'm like, geez, that tree's really cool. I love that. I'm going to put it out there, and I like this photo that I've done and stuff like that. So I guess we all have different sort of journeys to where we get to. But that's a bit of an inner struggle for me. I'm back on your couch, aren't I? I feel like I'm lying on Brendan's couch now.
The couch back there.
Haven't had a couch session for a while with you.
Please. Well, we've got a couple of trips coming up. We can.
Yes, that's right.
You can lay on the couch. I like the couch.
I
think that this is a good takeaway for people, and that is, because we get it a lot you hear of the phrase photographer's frustration. To me, photographer's frustration comes about when you're not prepared to go outside your comfort zone a little bit. Yeah. Now, a really good way to combat that is to do what Cam does. Be like Cam. Be more like Cam. Go out into an area, and I talk a lot about this as well, and that's storytelling. Go out to pinpoint. It could be anywhere. It could be your local park, your playground. No kids in it, and just take photos and just say, all right, I'm going to document this area. Yeah. And all of a sudden, you've gone from hunting for photos to telling stories, and that's that kind of transition. As I said, the happy byproduct of that is the images.
Yeah.
So it's a really good way to do it. You remember when we did the Murray, the Mallee Murray tour, and we went on the paddle steamer. Yeah. Now we could have quite easily just sat on the top deck of that paddle steamer and drunk beer and punted. Oh, that's right, we did.
I was going to say, isn't that what we did do?
The Menangan Cup was on, and that was important. But anyway, I must
admit, since that workshop, I've never cut a workshop session short to go watch a quaddie. But it was good.
See, you do it all when you come with me on this stuff. But if you remember, before we got on to the paddle steamer, I gave a little talk about, tell the story of this boat. Yeah. Let's not just look for the pretty reflections and the nice contrasts. No, let's tell a story. If you get a chance, go and talk to the captain and have a chat. Look at on the walls and read the stories, and then immerse yourself in it. And again, the happy byproduct should be photos, and should be good photos of that. So
that's right.
It's a great way to approach it, I think.
Yeah, good question by Jane.
Jane just got like a 25-minute answer on the pod.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we made any, but I don't know if we made any sense with it. But yeah, whenever you want, Jane. Don't let anyone else dictate when you're a photographer.
You're a photographer, Jane. Can I just really quickly? I want to put up a photo that was done by someone, not us.
Not us. Drum roll. Oh. Okay.
I'll just remove that so I can put this up.
Oh, that's crap. Take it down.
So this is this sounds really weird. I'm really proud of Mel for this photo. The reason I am is because we went to, this is a place called Smythe's Beach on the Great Ocean Road, which Cam, when we go down the Great Ocean Road in July with the 8 people who've already signed up, thank you, everyone who's coming along with me and Cam. You are most definitely going to this location because we hadn't been there before, and the beach we normally go to at Skeens Creek is completely closed off. Can't get to it. So I kept this up my sleeve, and we shot out here for sunset. And my goodness, what an amazing spot! We had waves crashing over boulders, basically, and we had a creek flowing down, and we had we had people we all just spread out and found stuff.
Yeah.
And I saw Mel with his bigger zoom lens. He's got that Olympus set up. I think this is his 150 lens, and he just honed in on these rocks, and he just picked the eyes out of the composition. And I thought, all right, he's playing there. This is going to be cool. And he sent me this photo today, and I just went, that's going on the podcast. I reckon that's absolutely awesome.
Can I pull it apart?
Go for it.
Cool. Hi, Mel. Hope you're listening. Nice to see you again. Hey, I like it, but if Mel had downloaded my composition ebook, the one thing I like the feel of it all. The one thing I'm not overly a big fan of is on the right hand side where the rocks are touching the side of the frame. I would like to see some gap, or those rocks not at all. So anything that's touching the edge of the frame, for me, that automatically draws my attention to that right hand side of the frame, where all the magic's happening right in the middle with all that beautiful water movement and the light on that rock.
It's the left. 3 rocks in the middle, right?
Yeah, totally. So for me, that's the thing that I look for. Is straight away I'm looking down the side of the frame. You remove those sort of 3 or 4 rocks on that side of the frame, and all of a sudden you've got, you got a really lovely, even more lovely shot than what he has to start with. So that's as soon as you put that picture up, before I even knew it was Mel's, that was the first thing I looked at. I went, oh, what's on the edge of that frame? That doesn't work for me. So keep that in mind when you're looking at stuff, to sort of just make sure you have your framing right. And, with digital photography, you can certainly do things again if you get it right. Have a look, and you get it wrong in the camera, you can go back and do it right. So to me, that'd be the only adjustment I would do.
Yeah, but the lad did well for the young fella.
He did all right. Yeah, he's not too bad. Did he buy us a beer? He might have bought us a beer. Maybe I should shut up because he might stop buying us beer.
Well, that's right. No. Well done, Mel. Awesome shot. Good stuff.
Yeah, it is nice, Mel. Don't take me the wrong way, Mel.
No, he doesn't do that. Oh, just quickly, this was looking back over Mel's shoulder from where he shot that. This is, by the way, an iPhone shot.
I know where you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
We stopped there, didn't we?
We did. We had a quick look here, and we sort of shelved it as a possibility. And then when I couldn't get on to Skeens Creek Beach, we shot. It's only 10 minutes out of Apollo Bay, this place. But no one goes, this is a cracker. Nobody goes here.
I think you said next time. I think you said this is probably somewhere where Mel want to take a shot.
Yep, and look what happened. Amazing.
Yeah.
So good spot. Definitely awesome. Thanks, Mel, for letting me show your image and for letting Cam pull it apart.
Well, hang on. Because I work fast.
You've put it up. You've done the edit.
I've done the edit. I've just cropped it how I want to crop it. It's coming up here.
Let's see it.
So that's the sort of see how we got some gap on that right hand side, Mel.
Yep,
that's what I like. And then you got these beautiful rocks.
This is before.
Yes.
And this is after.
I have to crop it in. If that was me, Mel, I'd just AI the shit out of those rocks on the right hand side and get rid of them.
I would probably just clone him out because I do like that foreground ripple there in his original shot. Even a square crop. Would you say no to a square crop?
Oh, I don't know. Let me have a look.
I think a square crop would work if you maintain top to bottom and just push the edges in both sides. Maybe you'll see when you do it. But hang on. So this was the first crop. Look at us editing on the fly. I like this. This is a new. This turned a corner.
This is unheard of. This is
unprecedented here on the down
south.
So
square cropping is a bit tricky because it's going to still have a rock on the side.
All right, here we go. Yeah, it doesn't quite work, does it?
No.
Still needs to be a rectangle. So maybe a 4/3 crop rather than a square. So okay. So let's start. This is Mel's first one, which is I want to say 16:9.
Yep.
And then this is Cam's first crop, which is more getting close to a 3:2.
Yep.
So I reckon a 4:3 would nail it. But good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good fun, isn't it? We need to do that more often. Editing on the fly.
just rip people's photos apart.
Hang on. So I'll just put that up once again. Image by Mel Haddon. Well done, Mel.
Hang on. You know what? 4-3.
He's just done a screen grab of that.
Mel has.
Yeah, because it's got his name on the screen.
Oh, you reckon? Is that like?
No, he's going to show all his mates, and so he should. All right, I'll get rid of the other two. Oh no!
All right, so I've done a 4-3 now.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, so the 4-3.
Oh, that's the one, Cam. There it is.
Yep.
That's the one. Bang. A 4-3 crop. Who'd have thought? And the irony is he's shooting on a 4/3 camera.
Yes, he is too. Even to the point, though, if you look right in the middle of that frame on the right-hand side, there's a little bit of dark rock still poking in, a tiny thumbnail of it.
That needs to disappear, yep.
But that's what I'm looking at, Mel. When I look at these photos, if Brendan brings up the original one straight away there, the first thing I went to is that right-hand frame, and that just leads my eye out to the right. All the water's running straight past down the middle of the frame, but my eye goes to the right.
I kind of agree, but I also think because he's left it at 16:9 and there is a little bit of balance on the left-hand side as well. It needed a rock on the left, didn't it?
It does, yeah.
And then that would have been better. But the cool thing about this spot, Cam, and you'll see it in July, is it's an open rock beach and the waves just keep coming. And you can say, right, there's a composition. Let's wait for the next wave. There's a composition. Let's wait for the next wave. And you can get waves coming in, or like Mel did, he can get waves going out. So yeah, very, very cool.
Is Mel coming in July with us?
No.
Not now. Mel's never coming on another workshop, is he? Not with me anyway. He's disowned me.
You'll see him at BFOP, mate. He'll buy you a beer at BFOP, I have no doubt.
Well, we're putting on the BFOP Down South photo show beforehand Thursday night.
The get together,
Thursday
absolutely.
Night? Yeah, Thursday night, Friday night, Thursday night.
That'll be on the Thursday night because I'll be up Mount Hotham.
Okay.
Well, but I'll get back to the pub just as everyone's finished and drunk.
Yeah. BFOP's coming around. I saw you done your bio thing. You done your bio.
Did they use that photo?
I think they have, yes.
They did not.
I'm pretty sure they have. It's been out there.
I've never looked. It was funny. Yeah. I just went, I'll put this up and see if Matt uses it. If he's used it, then it's good. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're definitely got a mouthful of cigarettes there, which
excellent. There's no point having a boring bio photo, Cam. Let's everyone have a funny bio photo. That's what BFOP's all about.
And shout out to Matt, who thought he was being funny. Matt thinks he's funny a lot. I don't think he's that funny. He's about as funny as a wet fart, in my opinion. But he put up there. He said he put up there saying that reminds me of Cam Blake's photography marketing strategy, but further down your throat. And I thought that's a bit rich coming from someone who's pimped himself out to any brand that gives him some camera gear and thinks he's a bit of a model or something. Have you seen his Fuji thing that he does?
Look, I'll be honest, I haven't.
No, good. Neither have I. No one's watched it. So,
yeah. Oh,
bring on BFOP.
The banter is elite at BFOP. I just sit back and watch the
I wasn't there last year. I think I might have to lift my game a bit.
The best banter you'll hear for the year is the banter between Matt and Nick.
Yeah.
When they're on stage, it's just that they are Bert and Ernie. It's brilliant.
Yeah. And you and I are the two guys that sit in the balcony. What are they?
Stadler and Waldorf, of course.
Yeah, that's us. Yeah.
Cam, let's get into the bones of this podcast. And this podcast is going to go forever. Sorry, everyone. But
it's just starting. Jesus. Was that just the intro?
And I can already see some stuff we're going to have to hold over next week. Photo tours.
Yes.
The photography tours that you've been doing for how long?
10 years or so.
All right, 10 years in Tasmania.
Yeah.
One of the biggest bugbears that you've had, and you've had it for a long time, you even went on ABC Radio Hobart discussing this very issue. Is photography tours operating particularly in national parks?
Yes.
Without the correct licensing from, be it parks, what are they called in Tasmania?
I call them a whole heap of different things, but they're called Tasmanian Parks and Wildlife.
Right, or Parks Victoria, where I am,
Parks
or
Victoria,
New South Wales
Parks.
Or South Australian Parks and Wildlife Service. These people operating tours in parks without permits and licensing.
It just
I think I know your take, but refresh me on it.
Well, it just keeps rearing its ugly head. And the conversation I actually had with Adam Edwards the other day, he rang me with a similar sort of gripe. He's seeing a lot of so-called photographers that are running workshops or tours going into places that are national parks or significantly important regions of Australia, and we just know for a fact that they don't have the proper permits. And the way we know that is because the permit process is not just ring them up and say, hey, I'm just going into Mount Buffalo for a day. You know, it's a full process. You've got to have all your public liability. You've got to have your business plans, your risk assessments, you know, all the things, accreditations, the whole lot. And there's some people out there, I so want to drop names, but I'm not going to. But there's so many guys out there that are new to the scene. Maybe they've won a few photo competitions lately, and all of a sudden they're now running tours and workshops around Australia. But they don't have the licensing. There's one person that's running Uluru tours.
Wow.
I'm highly suspicious that they have gone through the 6-month Indigenous guiding course that Cheryl and I went through for Kakadu and Uluru through Charles Sturt University, because they haven't been around long enough to have gone through that process. So it's going on. I've reported a couple of people just recently down here to Parks and Wildlife here in Tassie because I'm suspicious that they've got licensing. You know, normally on websites it'll say that they're a licensed operator or a preferred operator. Like usually when you get something, you'll get like a little logo to put on your website or on the bottom of your newsletters or whatever it might be. You know, I've got the accredited license operator share the wonder thing on mine. I could put up my Victoria one. I could put up the Northern Territory one. I could put up the Queensland one, the South Australian one. I just do Tassie because I'm based in Tassie, but I do have all those permits. And just talking to Adam the other day, we're just a bit jack of it. You know, it's a business advantage for people to go in there because they don't have to pay for these permits. They're running a huge risk. I'm highly doubtful that people booking these trips are even aware of the situation of permits and those permits. So if you're booking trips with people and they don't have a permit or the right public liability insurance and you fall over and break your leg in the national park, you're most likely not going to get covered by anything because you're there on a tour that's illegally being run without the proper permit. So these are questions that people should be asking the photographer before they book in is, cool, I want to come on your Uluru trip, or I want to go on, you know, wherever it is. I want to go to Great Ocean Road or whatever it is. Do you have the proper permits to run a tour there? If they come back and give you some spiel as, oh, no, we don't need one, or oh, I'm working on it, that's a big red flag for me, because if they're not doing the right thing for permits, they're not going to do the right thing for a tour. You know, you're most likely going to be driving in a car that they may not be the commercially licensed to drive a car, or they might not have public liability. So yeah, it's a conversation Adam and I had, and there's the wheels are in motion as to even just today we had another chat. The wheels are in motion as to setting up something that's going to heavily highlight the people that we think are doing the wrong thing. And I'm not saying that my house is all 100% in order. Like we all overlook things and we forget to do things or renew things and whatever. But you know, if people are doing the right thing and running these tours, they're going to make the effort to go get these permits correctly. But there's so many of them that aren't, and it's doing our head in a bit, and we're a bit jack of it, to be honest.
Well, and this is just as you were speaking, an idea that came to me, and this might be what you're talking about, and that would be purely and simply a very simple, basic website that lists licensed tour operators. Now, that's not calling anyone out; that's calling people in. And that's saying these are the people that you should be booking with. Yeah. And that's it. That's pretty simple.
So the very basic thing that Adam and I spoke about, the first thing we're thinking of doing is maybe reaching out to operators that we know are doing the right thing. You know, like yourself, myself, you know, maybe even Matt and all the guys that run workshops that we know of that are doing the right thing, and maybe just collectively putting something to all the national park managements around the country, just putting our concerns forward and saying, we're noticing this is happening. Can you just reassure us that the money we're paying for our permit is being treated the same way as these people are not paying anything at all? Are they being followed up with? What's the protocol, etc.?
Yeah. And
then the second thing that we are thinking of doing is exactly like you mentioned, or similar to what you mentioned, is maybe getting some people on board to have some sort of list. Like we spoke about it today, you and I. The Victoria Parks have a website fairly up to date. You know, it's a big job, so I'll probably update them anyway. But having some central authority, or for lack of a better word, location where people who are permitted to do stuff are listed. So punters out there, and a lot of them are camera club people and people who love their photography, can go on there and say, I want to do a trip with Brendan to, the Blue Mountains. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He says he's got his license and he's got all that kind of stuff. At least that gives the customer then some confidence that they're going with an accredited licensed tour operator into a place that they're going to get great service. Because not only with the permit, it's not just the parks area saying, hey, yeah, you can go in there and do stuff. There's certain protocols and there's certain behaviors and there's certain things that you are required to do under that permit. When people don't have permits, they're not aware of what they can and can't do. They just go in there and do what they want.
Yeah.
Which, I would hate for someone to, for example, Jane, Jane, who is a photographer, not inverted commas, she is a photographer.
You're a photographer, Jane.
You're a photographer, Jane. For Jane to go into Uluru with someone else who's running a tour in Uluru, get an amazing shot of Uluru, put it into a competition, and then get questioned about how did you get that photo? Were you on an authorized tour or not? Like, I would hate for things to come back onto the photographers who went in there a bit naive, not understanding what was meant to be ticked off, and then having their photos questioned and stuff like that.
To me, that's the least of their worries. The biggest worry is the injury issue. Now, you and I, we take as much care and responsibility as we can when we're behind the wheel with a car full of people. Now, you get some dickhead coming the other way in a national park who's looking at a koala in a tree and cleans you up. If you don't have the correct licensing and people on that try and make a travel insurance claim, it gets voided. No, you're not. They didn't have the correct licensing. That scares the bejesus out of me. I would lose everything. You would be sued out of existence.
It is. It's one of the biggest fears of running these trips. Like I always say, the photography side of things is the easy bit of these trips. It's all the red tape behind. It's all the liabilities. It's all the risks that we take to do these things. And like I know in New Zealand, when we just got back from New Zealand, there was a couple of people thought I was a little bit grumpy on the trip because I was a little bit under the weather. But there's all these other things going on in the group that you're watching people do things like, that's not good. We need that. We need you to be able to listen and understand our directions and go where we tell you to go and stay away from where we want to stay. Because if you hurt yourself because you haven't listened or whatever, that comes back on me to deal with that. And, we're very relaxed here in Australia. Like, a lot of people say, oh, look, if I fall, I break my ankle. That's not your fault. Well, it might be. If you go home and think about it for a couple of weeks and think, you know what? I don't think we should have been down there. Like, why did Cam take us down there? I'm going to go sue him, or I'm going to go follow this up. Yeah. So, we may come across sometimes.
Beyond that, Cam, it's the moment a claim is made.
Yeah.
That's where and people will make a claim. And I understand that. And I mean, I would, if I was on a tour and the boat flipped over.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. That just has to be, we've got to cover our asses. So the biggest takeaway here, folks, is go and do a photo tour with whoever you want, but check those credentials. Yeah, just check. Yeah. Just check and make sure you're covered, because if you're not, and the unthinkable happens, all the travel insurance in the world ain't going to cover it.
No, and on the flip side of that, definitely punters go out there and do some due diligence. We don't want it to become like the bloody Gestapo where they're checking everything and checking papers before you go on a trip with people. Like, we want to be able to trust people that are running these tours. People want to be able to trust us. We want to be able to trust them. But what's going to happen is some idiot who's running these tours, who's not permitted because they can't be bothered applying or don't know how to or whatever, something's going to happen in a park that's a photography tour, and the park, the people that run that park are going to go, you know what? No more. Someone falls off at the 12 Apostles and dies, who's on a photography tour because the cockhead person puts him over the fence and didn't have a permit and did all the whole thing, and someone falls off. You can guarantee they'll shut that park down for photography tours. No more. Yep. So, so if anyone's out there listening who is an operator and hasn't gone through the proper process to get permits, just go and do it. Like, if you're not sure how to do it, email me. I'm happy to sort of give you some guidance on where to go and what to look for and what forms to fill in. But you're only running a risk for yourself and your customers. So if anyone's watching that, then that's our message to them. And watch this space, because I know Adam's got a little bit of a tailwind with this. He wants to, get things sorted out a bit more and
I
get
think
things
Adam in particular because of Mungo, and Mungo is similar to what you've got in Tasmania, is World Heritage, UNESCO World Heritage listed. And I know that the permits for World Heritage are a little different to just parks permits. So, and you're quite right, Cam. It's frustrating because people do the right thing. People like Adam yourself, you go and get the permits, you go through the process, and mate, having just been through it with Parks Victoria, look, and I don't want to throw shade on Parks Vic. They do generally a great job. The most of the parks in Victoria are well managed, well maintained, clean, all that sort of stuff. But the red tape and the hoops that I had to jump through, recently to get my LTO, licensed tour operator, in the hilarious thing was I went through the whole process of getting it, and you'd think you've done it right. We're done here, so you send it in, and then a question comes back. Can you just give us a bit more information about this park? Yep. Okay, no worries. We're going here. We're going. Okay, cool. Submit it, and another question comes back. Yeah. It's like, no. Ask me all the questions, please. just ask them all. I don't want this game of tennis. I just tell me, and to the point where I ended up calling them, and I'm like, okay, can I just get this straight? This is where I'm going. The hilarious thing, and I messaged this to Adam this morning, was when they ask you for a map of their park.
They asked you for a map, and can you tell us where you're going?
Yeah,
Sure. I'm going to go where I said I'd go on the application, but where is that in the park?
Yeah. You don't know.
You don't know. Well, look, this is the thing, though, and this is something else that Adam and I spoke about as well. Is that it's not like America where you got rangers at every gate checking things off. Like that doesn't happen here. People just come in and out of this park, out of all the parks everywhere, just willy nilly. Like there's very rarely any parks in Australia where you need to go through a boom gate and get checked off.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the problem is that they're not so much as trustworthy, but there's no accountability for going in there. There's no deterrent that people go, oh shit, I'm in a spot here I probably shouldn't be, but there's no one here to check it. So stiff shit. I'll just go. So
can I throw a sort of broader blanket here as well, just so people don't think it's only national parks. It's anything. Well, in the state of Victoria, because I can speak for myself, having just been through the process, it's any park that is managed by Parks Vic. That doesn't mean a national park. That could be a state park, a reserve, occasional playgrounds. It can be the marine parks. Lake Tyrrell is one. Lake Tyrrell, not many people realise that is not a national park, but it is managed by Parks Victoria. So if you run a tour to Lake Tyrrell, then you have to have the correct licensing through Parks Vic.
Don't get me started on Lake Tyrrell. There is a couple of operators running drone workshops out of Lake Tyrrell. I can guarantee you that's not permittable.
Yep.
And that's silly. And again, they're the ones running the risk, and good luck to them. But and the other thing as well, there is quite a lot of drone workshops coming up these days you and I know who we're talking about, but I'm not referring to that person in general. But to be able to teach people how to fly drones, you also need to have a different recreational pilot's license, not the normal REPL for the CASA. You've actually got to spend like 20 grand and actually be a business that is teaching people how to fly. There's people doing that around Australia that don't care either. And look what happened to drones. Drones are amazing. Not anymore because you can't fly them anywhere.
Yep.
Because people have ruined it. So it's just a typical way where people, we all do it. We all take shortcuts here and there. And we all forget to do things, and we all look at something and go, I'm not going to do that. Bloody hell, that's too much effort. But you've got to do it. And at some stage, it's going to start getting called out. People are going to get called out.
But again, I keep coming back to the point. At the end of the day, it's up to the person going on the tour to check. And and if people do that more, then everyone will do the right thing and have their license, and away we go. Yeah. Everyone's happy.
Yeah, it is. But it's an interesting topic, and again, it keeps rearing its ugly head because people aren't doing it, and people just see it. We see it. We see it wherever we go.
It's unfair. It's unfair.
Well, it is a bit of that unfair business where, we're doing something, that we're trying to make a living out of. And then the one that's shitting me the most is these blow-ins, and I'll call them blow-ins because they get a little bit of recognition for something. The classic one is they win a photo competition, and then all of a sudden on the back of that, they're running workshops all around the place. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you just know that they don't have a permit to do that unless they were sort of doing it beforehand, which none of them were. That's the one that annoys me. It's like, okay, you've had your ego stroked. Now you're just going to try and make a quick buck. And the other thing that people don't realize, for people listening out there, is everyone talks. So many people come on my trips. They're like, oh, I did a workshop with blah, blah the other day. I'm like, cool, that's great. From what I hear, they're a good operator. And I don't know, if I had $1 for every time that someone said, well, yeah, they were, but they do a few dodgy things. Like, we weren't sure about this. We weren't sure about that. And it's just like, right, okay. So it gets back to people. So it's not a big industry.
Yeah.
People know who people are. So
yeah. And mind you, it's not just photo tours. There's tours.
That's right. And in general. Yeah.
Correct. And I had a terrible experience on the island formerly known as Fraser Island, now known as Kagari, up in southeast Queensland there. And this was a long time ago. It was back when I was chasing dingo photos. Remember when the dingo photos I showed you when you interviewed me?
Yes.
It was that same trip. And there was a bus, a 4-wheel drive bus pulled up at Eli Creek. Now, Eli Creek, the water is ranked as some of the most pure water in the world. Like, it's up there with Tassie's water, and because it's filtered through an artesian basin from the middle of Australia, and it takes 1 million years for the water to reach Fraser Island, blah, blah, Kagari. Yeah. Anyway, there was this like a bridge and a massive sign. No people past this point. No people past this point.
Let me guess.
The tour guide not only took people past the point, he stood up on the rail and yelled out, "You're not supposed to do this, okay? Let's go." And it was like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was, wow. Like, there's flaunting the rules, and then there's blatantly, even doing it on purpose to, it blew my mind. But so it's not just photography tours that bend the rules either.
No, it's across the board, but obviously we're in that industry where we see it with the photography, but it's just annoying. And I'm actually glad that Adam's sort of got a bit of a bee in his bonnet, because I've had a bee in my bonnet for years about it. And like I said, I know people and you see people, and
it's a small industry, mate, and I get it. It's hard. But there's also comes a point where it might be just a matter of fact, and rather than, look, I'm not trying to get anyone in trouble here. I'm not trying to rub people the wrong way. But it's so frustrating when you in particular, you run a lot more tours than I ever will. But it's like I've done the hard yards to get all this stuff. Yeah. You can't just waltz in and not get all that stuff and sell. Yeah. And be my competition on an unlevel playing field.
Well, that's the thing that we're talking about. And the other one, just to finish off, that also does my head in is the ones that like we're a bit different because we run a business together with the podcast. But the emails you get from people like, "Oh, hey Cam, how you going? I've been following your work for ages, and I really love what you're doing. I'm coming down the Cradle Mountain with the group, but I don't have the permit. Would I be able to get you to come along and help out and just piggyback on your permit?" Don't try that, because you won't like the answer. The answer will start with F and end it off. So it's just one. So watch this space. Who knows? Maybe there'll be things happening, or maybe people just grow a conscience and actually go, you know what? I feel a bit nervous about doing this anyway. I'm just going to go do the right thing.
How embarrassing would it be if you're on a tour and a ranger bails you up for your permit?
Yeah.
Maybe there needs to be more of that.
Well, this is the thing. Like South Australia, when we do that, we have something on our car, little permits on our car. Tassie here, you've got, you sign in and get a little ticket to do that. Yeah. All the other states are similar. Like,
I would imagine that's going to come with that new Gore Carper, who I've been telling you about,
Gore Carper, yes.
Who are literally just another department within Parks Victoria. That are managing the marine or the coastal parks along the Great Ocean Road. So Gore Carper is literally Great Ocean Road. I can't even remember what the rest of the acronym means, but
Great Otways Regional or something. I saw it.
It's an acronym that the government loves acronyms. But and so that's going to come in I feel like particularly the 12 Apostles Port Campbell National Park is going to become gated. And purely because there's been A, too many accidents, B, too many unregistered people, C, people jumping fences, breaking the rules. Mate, there's towering cliffs there, so which will be a shame in some regards, but also I get it, and it works well in other, like when we were at Freycinet, when we were there on the East Coast, and you went in, signed the book, and put the sticker on your car. I like that.
Yeah, I do too, and I think that's and again, like government departments, we're all underfunded, or they're funded badly where they can't actually spend the money properly. But that's the thing. Like, there's no one checking, and there's no pressure to go, oh, we probably need to do this because I might get checked. So anyway.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, there you go. Leave a comment below if you've had experience with people that are either registered or unregistered for parks and parks and wildlife permits. And to be in Victoria, they're called licensed tour operators, and they're called different things around. Maybe that's part of the problem, is the fact that it's not federal, that it is state. And, because you said this morning to me, you would love it if there was a list like Parks Vic have on the Parks Tassie site. How easy? I mean, too easy just to double check.
But how easy would it be? Like, it would take half an hour to set that up.
It would take a work experience kid half an hour.
Yeah, but what it would do, it would negate people like me going, hey, Parks and Wildlife Tassie, I'm a bit concerned about this person. What do you think? Yeah. Because I could just go check and go, oh, yeah, cool, they're fine, move on.
Do you get the vibe, though, when you – sorry, we're going to drag this on just a couple more minutes. Do you get the vibe when you contact Parks whatever they're called, Tasmanian Parks and Wildlife, that it's like, here he goes again, here's Cam again. Yep. Like, is that what you get? That's the vibe you get? That's disappointing, isn't it?
It's the vibe I get. I wouldn't say necessarily it's what they portray, but the responses are never like, hey, Cam, we really appreciate you raising this with us. We'll go find out about it. I'll put it out there. I reported Ken Duncan to the Parks and Wildlife because
I remember that. You mentioned that on the show.
Yeah, he had a photo of him standing in the middle of the river that he jumped the fence to get to, which is a complete no-no. But the response I got from Parks and Wildlife there wasn't, hey, Cam, thanks very much for that. It was like, well, he's not actually promoting Tasmanian tours. He's talking more about his overseas ones and Australian ones. So he hasn't really done anything wrong there, but we might send him a reminder to stay on track. That's bullshit. If I hadn't have reported it, no one would have seen it. So, anyway, I don't know.
Cool.
Maybe I'm getting old.
Good topic. Interesting. It'll be interesting to hear people's feedback, or if anyone's listened this far, because it is now an hour and 20 minutes into the podcast.
No one listens this far. Have we got any more things to talk about? What are we doing now?
No, we'll hold over things now. I think we've gone on long enough, but it's been a great pod. Been a really good chat, mate. I'm really enjoying the fact that we're probably back fortnightly now, at the very least. If not, we might sneak the odd one in weekly. But it gives us a bit more time to get topics, and it was great. We spent 25 minutes on Jane's question, which is awesome. So if you've got questions, hit us up below. Head over to dsps.com.au. Check out our workshops, our permitted workshops and tours that you can find there. 2027 workshops now on sale. We haven't got any more for sale for 2026. They will be 2027 will be Great Ocean Road, will be East Coast Tassie, and it will be Kangaroo Island again, which we're not that far away from doing in 2026, my friend.
Yeah, that's going to be
really cool. As it starts to pour rain here, by the way.
Oh, really? It's been rainy here like forever.
It's just bucketing down outside now.
Yeah, it's pouring down on the footy in Adelaide. Not that it's a footy show, but yeah, we've had a lot of rain, but it's been good. We need it.
It has been very, very good. The Barwon River here needs a good flush out, so hopefully it's all going in there. I don't know if you can hear that over my microphone, but it's really loud. Nice drop of rain. Cam, by the way, we normally at this point thank everyone for their beer donations. We'll do a big rundown of that next episode of whoever's been donating beer.
And we'll do a photo comp as well next week.
We will. Photo comp will come back next. We'll probably run that in July, so sit tight for that. We'll have a photo comp in July. Looking forward to that. Can I just give a shout out, and I know I've banged on a bit about it, but to Pete from Ocean Grove, Jane from Ocean Grove, Mel from Myrtleford, and the lovely Sue, who made the biggest effort to come all the way from Malaysia to come on my Great Ocean Road trip. Thank you, Sue. That was awesome. She was an absolute ripper, mate. She took to our humour like that. She got it. We laid the drop bears on her, the hoop snakes, the whole bit.
And she's actually Malaysian.
She lives in Kuala Lumpur.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah.
And it was hilarious.
I
think the leeches freaked her out a little bit, but that's okay. She was an absolute trooper. And she got a lot out of it. I think she really enjoyed seeing. She'd never been to that part of Australia before, so absolutely loved it. So it was good to have her on the trip. But to Pete, Jane, Sue, and Mel, thanks for all your singing in the Kia. The Beatles have got nothing to worry about, but I called them.
Two of them are dead. So, why are you doing shout outs?
Sound better than these guys.
Why are you doing shout outs? I better shout out to, I just did recently the Flinders Island one with Ozgeo Travel. We had Philippa, Alison, Kathy, Maya, Joe, and Jan. So again, I was surrounded by females, which it's a tough gig sometimes, I tell you. But and of course to Cheryl for helping out again. She's doing a great job. She's very excited about Kangaroo Island. She's here's a hot tip for you, or a bit of hot news off the press.
Yes,
I think Cheryl's going to buy the Olympus 150 to 400 telephoto lens.
Well, she'd want to get it before KI because we got seals, baby.
I know. That's exactly what she said. She goes, I want to get seals. So we've spoken to a good friend of the show, Mark at DigiDirect. He's given us a ripper price.
Japan price?
Close to.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So Cheryl's thinking on it. She thinks she's a bit of an overthinker, Cheryl.
I am so pumped for Wildlife Wednesday on that trip.
Yeah.
So for those of you who
hurry up and get it so I can use it.
for those of you playing along at home, our trip to Kangaroo Island on the I don't know. I just don't know why did I dub it Wildlife Wednesday. I just like the alliteration. But we get to do hopefully in the one day we'll do seals, we'll do koalas, we'll do echidnas, and we'll do pretty much every bird species you can find on Kangaroo Island. So all in the one day. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be Big Lens Central. Everyone will have tired eyes from closing one eye and looking through that big zoom all day. So, and we have a privately organised seal tour as well, which is going to be absolutely superb.
Yeah, I can't wait. Should be good.
Yeah, it's going to be mint. Remember we did the scouting? I could have sat there on that little bench and watched. Remember the seals came underneath us?
Yeah.
We're going to be dragging people away from that location, mate.
I thought you were going to say we're going to be dragging seals away with us. Come on, get in the van.
I think we'll get to the point where it's like, nah, we're just staying here for the day.
Well, that's the thing. If people are loving it, we'll do what the people want. So
I can't see why they wouldn't be. It was just, it was. I don't know. I just love being that close to wildlife. Inside me, there's a wildlife photographer screaming to get out, and a golfer, and a football artistic photographer, and a what?
And a football AFL footballer photographer, sports
photographer. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm jack of all trades, master of none. I think that's it for the podcast. Cam, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I think that's good. Like I said, we've got some topics to roll over to next episode, and
we do.
Easy done. Yeah.
Which we'll probably even record next week by the sounds of it, if you're still around, and we might can it for a week later. So
we could do that. I'm in Sydney from Wednesday, but we can make it work.
Yes. Go and buy your beanie, digital beanies, link below. Thanks, Cam. Yep. This has been episode 191 of the Down South Photo Show. We will see you all for episode 192, creeping up there, Cam. We're in the nervous 90s now.
Are we going to call it the Gillespie episode?
Oh, yes. I like that.
Maybe we should get him on.
No, we're going to get Steve Waugh on first, remember?
Steve Waugh. No one liked him anyway.
Wasn't he at the other end when Gillespie got his 200?
Nah, Glenn McGrath was.
Oh, of course. Naturally, yeah. But he was a night watchman. Sorry, no one listens this far. We can talk about what we want.
Yeah, no. He did the galloping horse thing down on the bat.
He did.
Maybe how funny would that be if we just reached out and said, look, we're a stupid podcast about photography, but we love cricket. We love the fact that we're doing a 200 episode. Maybe he might even do like a cameo for us and just say, hey, congratulations, reaching 200. Not many people do, or something like that.
Hey,
I'm going to reach out. I'm going to reach out to him.
Well, you've probably got his number.
Not anymore. Shane Warne might have had his number, but I can't ring Shane anymore. So
no, you can't. That's true. No. Maybe we can get who was it? Damien Fleming.
Oh yes, yeah.
He is the president of the hat trick on test debut club.
Yes. Yeah,
he's the president, the secretary, the only member, the life member. He loves it. He tells a story how he has a golf day every year
with himself
for members of that club. But worldwide, he's the only person to make a hat trick on test debut.
Amazing. Hey, I've just looked up Jason Gillespie's. You can book him. Get a request. Enter some basic details for. I'm going to ask him out.
So he wants sheets. Come on, Jason. That's a bit rough.
All we want him to do is just like a little video clip on his phone.
Seconds.
That's it. 10 seconds. That's all we want. All right, that's going to happen on episode 200.
That's it. That's the podcast. I've already done this bit. Say goodbye, Cameron.
Bye, Cameron.
See everyone. Bye.
Ciao.